This former deputy is accused of killing the father of her unborn child, and she says that he wasn't returning her calls or messages after she broke up with him. So police say that she stalked him.
You were reprimanded back in 2019 for prohibited association with Mr. Douglas because of his felony status.
In this sheriff's office video, Jackson said they broke up back then but resumed dating at the end of 2022.
We linked up, messed around, and now I'm pregnant.
We're talking about Jova'a Jackson. She resigned at the end of May, and within the last hour, we've learned from Leclain County Sheriff's Office that she's being held in connection to the killing of 28-year-old Terrell Douglas.
This is the story of Jova'a Jackson, a 23-year-old woman who turned herself into the police after she killed her boyfriend. A sheriff's deputy's secret affair with a felon spirals into murder, leading to her arrest while pregnant. As the case unfolds, one question remains: was it self-defense or revenge? Hello and welcome to Twisted Crimes. Subscribe and hit the like button for more stories. Jova'a Jackson began her career at the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office in October 2015 at the age of 23. According to her LinkedIn profile, she started off as a detention deputy following her graduation from Liberty University. She went on to receive her certification as a jail training officer in 2019, where she was responsible for training new detention deputies. Jova'a did well at her job and quickly rose through the ranks. She would eventually go on to complete basic law enforcement training and be promoted to deputy. Jova'a also held a position as a school resource officer at a middle school before being assigned to the Community-Oriented Policing Services Unit. As a young woman, Jova'a's career came with its fair shares of ups and downs. One of Jova'a's highlights at the sheriff's office was when she was awarded Employee of the Month in March 2019. Despite her professional achievements, Jova'a's personal life began to intersect with her work in troubling ways. In 2019, she was reprimanded because her superiors discovered she was in a relationship with a man who was a convicted felon with a long criminal history.
You were reprimanded back in 2019 for prohibited association with Mr. Douglas because of his felony status.
We linked up, messed around, and now I'm pregnant.
This man was Terrell Rashad Douglas. Jova'a and Terrell started their on-again, off-again romance in 2018. Their relationship was against the code of conduct for someone in Jova'a's law enforcement position. According to the sheriff's office policy, employees are prohibited from associating with people or organizations of questionable character, including those with a reputation for criminal activity. After Jova'a was reprimanded in the initial investigation into her affiliation with Terrell, her superiors believed the relationship between them was over. Jova'a moved forward and even received a promotion to corporal in January 2023. Things seemed to be going well for Jova'a until her superiors once again got word that she had rekindled her relationship with Terrell. During their investigation, they found out from Jova'a that she and Terrell got back together in December 2022. But when the department dug deeper, they discovered they actually started back talking in October 2022. They also found out that Terrell moved in with Jova'a in January 2023. He was even present at her promotion ceremony, front and center, snapping photos together. With the relationship rekindled, Jova'a also became pregnant with Terrell's child. During a video interview with her superior in May 2023, Jova'a acknowledged she had made some mistakes during her time at the sheriff's office. At that time, she claimed that she and Terrell were no longer together and that he was not answering her texts or calls, and said she had no idea where he was. It was revealed that Terrell was injured in a drive-by shooting in Albany, Georgia, in May. Jova'a was on the phone with him at the time and was also in Albany and drove to the scene. With all of the revelations and Jova'a's admissions on the table, her superiors considered firing her. But before Jova'a could be terminated, she resigned from the sheriff's office on May 31, 2023. Jova'a was 5 months pregnant. Just 4 days after Jova'a resigned, things took a tragic turn. On June 4, 2023, Jova'a allegedly tracked down 28-year-old Terrell at a home in the South Lake Cove apartment complex in Jonesboro. Terrell was there visiting his girlfriend when Jova'a arrived at the home that evening. Things got heated, and Jova'a pulled out a gun and shot Terrell. Terrell's girlfriend, whose name was redacted, stated in the incident report that she saw Terrell outside arguing with his baby mama and things escalated. When she came back outside, she saw Terrell lying on the ground, and Jovaa called 911 while applying pressure to his wound. Clayton County Police arrived at the scene around 8 p.m. First responders found Terrell near the entrance of one of the apartment doors. He was suffering from a gunshot wound to the chest. Terrell was taken to South Regional Hospital, where he sadly succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead at 8:50 p.m. As police continued their investigation, Terrell's girlfriend allegedly told them she had spoken to Terrell's mother earlier that day. Terrell's mother allegedly told his girlfriend that Jovaa called her and said she was going to end her son's life. Another witness allegedly told police that just before Terrell was shot, they had heard Jovaa and Terrell arguing about a female.
Deputies on the wrong side of the law. Jova'a Jackson facing murder charges. Clayton County Police said that she shot and killed a man in Jonesboro last week. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes live for us at the Clayton County headquarters with the details. Deidre?
Yeah, we learned that the former Rockdale County Sheriff's deputy was under investigation when she resigned last month. Police say she shot and killed a man just days later.
I heard like one shot.
Gregory Taylor heard gunfire, but didn't realize someone had just been shot just steps from his front door.
I didn't know anything else until a bunch of cops was out here asking questions, going door to door.
The Rockdale County Sheriff's Office posted this photo of Jova'a Jackson on their Facebook page in 2019, recognizing her as Employee of the Month. Now she's behind bars at the Clayton County Jail, charged with killing a man at this residence on South Lake Cove Court in Jonesboro, June 4th. According to the police report, Jackson and victim Terrell Rashad Douglas were outside arguing. A witness told investigators she closed the door when she saw the suspect pull out a gun. When she came back outside, Douglas was laying down on the ground shot, and the suspect called 911 while applying pressure to his wound. The Rockdale County Sheriff's Office tells Fox 5 the former deputy was hired in October of 2015. They say Jackson resigned in lieu of termination on May 31st of this year. At the time of her resignation, she was under investigation by the agency's Office of Professional Standards for employee misconduct. Police arrested Jackson June 6th. No one entered the door at her Stockbridge residence Monday. Neighbor Devin Harper shared these surveillance images of officers outside Jackson's apartment. She said she often heard Jackson and a man arguing.
I could hear disturbances in that apartment because the walls are very thin. So there were several occasions where I would be in my bedroom and I could hear shouting or screaming coming from that next, I guess, the next wall over.
2 days later, on June 6, 2023, 31-year-old Jova'a Jackson turned herself into police and gave investigators the firearm she allegedly used to shoot Terrell. At the time, Jova'a was being held at Clayton County Jail without bond. She was charged with malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, and weapons charges. When investigators delved deeper into Jovaa's past and the events leading up to the shooting, they found a complex web of personal and professional conflicts. Jovaa's relationship with Terrell had always been a point of contention at the sheriff's office. Her superiors had warned her about the dangers of associating with someone with a criminal background, but Jovaa's feelings for Terrell seemed to cloud her judgment. The fact that Terrell was living with her and had been present at her promotion ceremony was seen as a direct violation of the sheriff's office's code of conduct. Moreover, the investigation revealed that Jova'a had been less than truthful with her superiors. She had claimed that she and Terrell were no longer in contact. The revelation that Terrell was injured in a drive-by shooting while on the phone with Jova'a, and that she had rushed to the scene, further complicated her situation.
An attorney for a former deputy accused of killing the father of her child now says it was self-defense. Channel 2's Tom Jones live in Clayton County, where the former deputy is being held right now without bond.
And Justin, Jova'a Jackson once worked in a jail like this, watching over inmates. Now she is an inmate. Police say she is a murderer, but her attorney says she shouldn't be here because she defended herself that day. He says this is a case of a woman crazy in love with a convicted felon.
She loved him, and her and I had a conversation about, stick with this guy. You're a cop.
Attorney Dennis Scheib says he knew his client, Jova'a Jackson, before she faced charges for murdering the father of her unborn child, Terrell Douglas. Jackson had to resign in lieu of termination from the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office in May because she kept associating with Douglas, who was a convicted felon. Now she is in danger of being one.
Sometimes you love somebody to death.
Clayton County Police say Jackson stalked Douglas to this apartment near Morrow in June. An unidentified witness told police the two argued over a woman who lived here. The witness says she heard a gun go off, heard Douglas scream, then he went to the ground. The witness says Jackson's gun jammed, and then she saw Jackson shoot Douglas again. Scheib tells a different story. He says Jackson shot in self-defense.
She's not only fearing for herself, but she's fearing for her baby.
Scheib says Jackson went over to check on Douglas because he wasn't answering his phone. He says he attacked her as soon as the door opened.
He immediately comes toward her. What do you think you're doing? And it exploded on her.
Scheib says Douglas choked Jackson. He says she started to get lightheaded.
And she shoots him one time. Boom. Dead.
Scheib says his client was blinded by love and didn't go over with the intent to shoot.
But she's got a right to defend herself. She's 6 months pregnant.
And Jackson faces malice murder, possession of a firearm during a felony, and stalking. Her preliminary hearing this morning was postponed. One will be held in August, and that's where Dennis Scheib says he will put his client on the stand so she can tell her side of this story.
Jova'a Jackson's arraignment was a highly anticipated event, drawing significant media attention. On the day of her arraignment, the courtroom was packed with reporters, family members, and concerned citizens. Jova'a, visibly pregnant, was brought into the courtroom in handcuffs. During the arraignment, Jova'a's attorney argued for her release on bond, citing her pregnancy and the need for her to prepare for the birth of her child. The attorney also claimed that Jova'a had acted in self-defense, stating that she had been afraid of Terrell due to his past behavior and threats. However, the prosecution painted a different picture, arguing that Jova'a had premeditated the shooting and had acted out of anger and jealousy. The judge ultimately denied Jova'a's request for bond, citing the severity of the charges and the potential risk to the community. Jova'a was ordered to remain in custody until her trial. Terrell's death left a void in the lives of his family and friends. For Jova'a, the consequences of her actions were equally severe. Her resignation from the sheriff's office marked the end of a promising career in law enforcement. She was now facing the prospect of spending many years in prison, which meant she would miss out on raising her child. The baby, born shortly after Jova'a's arrest, was placed in the care of relatives. The case also had a significant impact on the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. The incident raised questions about the department's policies and oversight. How had Jova'a been able to continue her relationship with Terrell despite the clear prohibitions? Why had her superiors not taken more decisive action earlier? These were questions that the department would have to grapple with in the months and years to come. The families of both Jova'a and Terrell were left to pick up the pieces after the tragic events. Jova'a's family, on the other hand, was supportive of her throughout the ordeal. They believed in her innocence and stood by her claims of self-defense. They argued that Jova'a had been a dedicated law enforcement officer who had made a mistake in her personal life, but that she did not deserve to be painted as a cold-blooded murderer. The contrasting reactions of the two families highlighted the complexities of the case. It was a story of love, betrayal, and tragedy, with no easy answers. As the legal proceedings continued, both families held out hope that justice would ultimately be served, even if they had very different ideas of what that justice should look like. May her soul continue to rest in peace.